Okay, apologies for the first set of the recording. I think something is wrong with my computer battery. My computer just go off on me suddenly out of the blue. Yeah, so I hope this is not going to happen again. Let's try it and to finish up the class, the recordings. Okay, so like I said, the contractor still needs to write to the client and the SO to inform that they are coming in to work. Okay, but the official date of commencement will actually start on the set of possession. So whenever we have a contract that is ongoing, the date of commencement will be the date of site possession. So if the contract is already signed, but the possession of site is not being given to the contractor, basically the commencement date has not begun. Okay, and this is something for us to really remember very clearly. Okay, if you don't take it seriously, then it can be an issue that you do not know when the start date. So it says that you do not know when the clock starts ticking actually, and that is quite serious. Okay, and once the contract signing is completed, then the site possession happens, or it can happen at the same time together. Okay, and this is one of the key date. Okay, and then the next date that the next date that you have will be the date of practical completion. Okay, and this is the time whereby it's considered as the site is being fully handed over to, once the date is being fully handed over to the contractor is site possession. That is the date of commencement, and then when the date of when there's a date of practical completion is whereby the work has been practically complete, meaning that the whatever that should be done should be can or has already been done, except for maybe some very minor defects that will be look after in that sense. Yeah, and so practical completion is now, the project is now being handed back to the client. It means completion actually. It actually means a full completion in a way. Yeah. If you don't have full completion, you cannot have practical completion. That means the project can be used already. That means the client can use it, can stay in it, can, shopping mall can start to function as a business and all that. Okay, and that is how we look at possession of site. Yeah, and then that is also the date of defects liability. Okay, that is whereby the defects liability will start. Okay, so defects liability is whereby when the practical completion is done, then there will be maybe some small defects, but that defects cannot affect. It does not affect. It does not affect the status of people using the work. Okay, the project. So that will be left in a defects liability period to be completed. So you cannot have a roof or ceiling not done, that kind of thing. But then if let's say there's some scratches, minor paint, or the drain is kind of blocked, the water is not running very smoothly, it needs a bit of repair or painting or whatever. This sort of small things is what we call a defect period actually. Okay, so it's starting to be what we call a defect liability period. Okay, and date of practical completion is a starting of a date of defect liability period, and after 12 months of defect. So when you look at this particular note here, this one's the date of commencement, this will be the date of practical completion. Can you see the arrow that I'm actually punching here? Okay, and this time is called a defect liability period time, which is usually 12 months, then nothing less than 12 months, and it can be a longer time, like 24 months as well. So I hope that you all will fill in yourself date of commencement, date of practical completion, and defect liability period in this line, and this is the project period okay, and this will be the final completion date whereby the contractor will be fully discharged of his responsibilities. Okay, so in the event that there is a delay, if there is a delay in the job, okay, so that the date of practical completion will be shifted, but the defect period will still retain, meaning that if it's 12 months, it doesn't lessen the defects period. Okay, so then it will be later. The date of defects will start later, but it will still be 12 months. So that means the final completion date will be pushed behind depending on the delay. So this bit here is what we call a proper project delay. Okay, and what happens if there is a delay? Okay, so there's a few broad category on delays. Okay, and delays is a very big topic actually, and in fact you hear a lot of this word as well, and this delay have to be really studied, before anything can be done. But in the broad category, there is what we call excusable delay and non-excusable delay, which is basically depending on whether the delay is caused by the act of client or caused by the act of SO or engineer or architect, or is caused by the contractor, you see. So all this will be what we call excusable and non-excusable. So those that is excusable basically means that you can actually apply for extension of time. You can ask for extra time for you to complete the project, and those that is non-excusable will basically be no chance for it lah. And there will also be compensable delay and non-compensable delay, and there will also be a terms that called critical or non-critical delay. So if this event is actually on the critical path, you see, and then it was caused by the client, then extension of time definitely has to be granted because it will affect the overall project. But if contractor, as a role of contractor, you will apply for any delays, really, you will apply for it. You just don't care, it's as long as it's delay, you just apply for it. So we will have to put in what we call a request, a request to for extension of time. So then we will see what is the ground. So you will actually apply for what we call an extension of time. It has to be a formal application. So without this formal application, you cannot actually it will not be studied. The extension of time, the delay will not even be studied. So as long as you write in, you say that there's an event here that is causing the delay, that will actually needs to be informed to the client when the event happened, and then later on you apply for extension of time, and then whether the extension of time is granted or not granted, it will be based on whether it's excusable, non-excusable, compensable, non-compensable, whether it's a critical or non-critical event. Okay, so if it's not on critical path, the client may not grant you. They may not grant you. Okay, as long as it's under the study. Okay, so if they grant you, they may not grant you full extension of time. So you have to prove that this is actually critical delay, and that's whereby the knowledge of critical path is very, very important nowadays, because it's not so easy as just writing in and say, oh, I have this few days of delay because of raining and give it to me, but it has to be really affecting those work that is on the critical path, and that will at the end of the day full length actually affect the extension, the period for work under the contract. Okay, so then when you have extension of time, when the extension of time is granted, okay, so you apply, the contractor will apply for extension of time, they will apply for extension of time. So this is delay now, so you apply for extension of time, and if this extension of time is given, if it's given, basically this date of completion will be pushed backward without any penalty over the extension that is being given. But if it's not given, then this bit here we will consider that as a punishable delay, meaning that you will have to pay for it. Okay, so this is what we are doing when we talk about extension of time.